Joe was like, well, two of us can go to a room. And I pulled up the rooms and the bathtub is in the middle of the room.
Oh, it is?
It's like...
I didn't look at that.
It's not separate.
Oh, it's not?
And that's why I sent back, like, you better love your roommate. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Inappropriate with Jim and Steve. I'm Jim.
I'm Steve.
And thanks for hanging out with us one more time. Predictions. So call them out, Steve. Who do you got and what's the score?
I am going to go San Francisco 34, Kansas City 31.
Oh, you got San Fran winning. Okay.
Just because I can't bring myself. I can't bring myself to do it.
I'm going to say McCaffrey has a big day, but I'm going with 28-24 Kansas City.
All right.
And I'm also going to throw something in. I think Kansas City gets a defensive touchdown.
Do you?
I think so. There is one silver lining to the Ravens not being in the Super Bowl.
What is that?
They saved me $15,000. Because I had my Super Bowl trip planned out. I was going to fly into LAX, rent a car, drive into Vegas if there was no other flights. Like, I was going to do it. And, you know, thinking back, I'm glad the $15,000 is still sitting in my account. Because you know why? Because I have now money for other trips.
Oh.
Which takes me to our actual episode today. It's all about taking vacations and taking trips.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to get into some. A couple was left stunned after arriving at their dream vacation to find that they had truly hit the jackpot, Steve.
Oh. Another feel-good story.
They were the only two guests at an all-inclusive 5-star resort.
Was it a hurricane?
They booked the entire trip at Gran Velas Boutique a Los Cabos in Mexico. And when they arrived to the luxury resort, they stumbled across what they thought was a joke. They did document in a video and they uploaded on TikTok. Basically, they just walked around and filmed like all the sun loungers, the pool, and everywhere. There was no other guest.
Was there staff?
There was staff.
That would be so fucking awesome.
The staff was still just doing staff things. There was a guy that would come by and sweep. There was the front desk people.
He's not sweeping shit.
Right. They were just all
doing their jobs.
Yeah, and typically, most resorts have a one worker to the average of 3 guests.
Okay.
This resort averages 1 guest to 3 workers.
On average?
On average. They have 3 workers for every guest.
Oh, okay.
So just think about how many workers there are for these 2 people.
God. Would you even go? I mean, you would never have to ask for a drink.
No, and they said they thought they had the jackpot. Like, it was really cool because obviously they were extremely catered to.
Yeah.
But after a couple of days, it started to get a little unsettling. And the guy says that he saw somebody not in the white uniform and got excited. Only to find out it was a construction worker doing some work on the property.
You know, it would be weird. Like, you'd open up your door and like instantly, like, do they do the buffet?
The entire time they were the only 2 guests, and they were wondering the financial logistics of, you know, how does this resort maintain, with 2 guests, and like how are they paying for, all the electricity is on, like all the accommodations are there.
Yeah.
The person who operates the resort said 100% regardless of the number of actual guests staying on the property.
Have you ever been to an all-inclusive resort?
Yes, on our honeymoon.
Okay. The thing I kind of like about going on vacation or going to an all-inclusive thing is the people that you meet, and like the weird, like, you make friends with people that you're just friends for there.
I call them 5-minute friends.
Yeah. You're like, while you're there, like, you'll run into them. You're like, hey, what's up? And
you see them throughout the day. You might play volleyball with them, or, you see them drinking, and, over the course of the week, like, you kind of become friendly. You get the nod.
Yeah.
You hear more of their life story than maybe people that they work with for the last 20 years, because when you're on vacation, you have this, I'm never going to see these people again.
Yeah.
I'll tell you everything. Kind of. The drinks are flowing.
I remember in Greece, I met like a couple at the pool, and we were just like bullshitting, talking to them and stuff. I drank after this lady's cup. Like I just like, sure. And I didn't know this fucking person. That's vacation, Steve. Right. And I mean, it's pre-COVID, so you're like, it was like a different world. You're like, I'll drink after somebody.
That's funny. We went on this the last Ravens game. We went to a tailgate that we had never been before. And they had like 8 different bottles of moonshine. And there was maybe 60 people. Everybody passing them around. Passing them around. And like not thinking twice.
Yeah.
Like we knew 2 people who we went with, but beyond that, no one. And strangers passing us moonshine, and we're like, oh, sure, I'll have a little swig. And I'm thinking like, holy shit.
Dude, yeah. Did you like wipe it off a little bit before you took a drink?
No, but I tried to do like the no lip touch, but like 40 people might have drunk on this, moonshine. Like, I'm sure there's something in it. And then my wife just says, there's so much alcohol in here, it'll kill everything.
That's the saving grace. Like, that's what you can tell yourself to justify it. And you're just like, there's so much alcohol in here.
Yeah, and
did it taste good?
It tastes delicious. Yeah. I love apple cinnamon moonshine because, you could put it on ice and sip a big ass glass and like just drink it because it tastes like, apple cider.
Then you go fucking blind.
And I tried to limit that a little bit because moonshine will catch up to you. Yeah. Like you're not getting away unscathed if you think that you're going to put your big boy pants on and take, shots of, there's 8 of them coming around. So it's, even a little sip here or there is still equal to probably a couple shots and, we'll do the trick. You and I have something to look forward to coming up in 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks from now.
Jim and I are going on our honeymoon.
Hopefully, on that all-inclusive resort, we're the only 2 there, baby.
Only 2.
We are resurrecting our guys' trip. Every year, we would do a week down in Ocean City.
Yes.
And what was awesome with that is some of us talked every day. Some of us talked every couple months, and some of us, we only seen them
that once
on the trip. But no matter where you were at in the world, what you were doing, the email got sent out. Here's the dates. Send me your money. And
it was always so fucking cheap too.
It was. We crammed 7 of us into a 3-bedroom condo.
A week down Ocean City for $300.
Right. I think it was like $400 with groceries. It was like it didn't cost. And it was so much fun. Like every year it was like going back in time.
Yes.
And just like hanging out with your friends. And like your wives and all will think like we're down there getting lap dances and like hooking up and like, and I think I finally
couldn't be further from the truth. Right.
And I think my wife has finally understood that maybe to a certain degree, but like we would go down there and we would just, it was dick and fart jokes for an entire week. Like that's where, we would get up, we would go to the beach, we would drink, we'd come back. Are we somebody cooking or are we going? Like, it was just a group of guys. Couldn't be nothing less appealing to women than a group of 7 dudes hanging out. You know what I mean? Like,
we would usually get the same condo every year.
Yes.
And remember the pool in it, we would just sit there and throw a ball and catch it jumping into the pool. Like you're 5 years old. And it's guys in their mid-20s doing that for hours.
Yeah. It was a week to turn off all like work, any stresses, and just hang out with your boys.
It was just ball busting nonstop.
And it was just so much fun. And we never did anything. No. Like we didn't go on any like quote unquote excursions.
No, like, no jet skis.
No jet skis. JJ, I think one time tried to organize like a white marlin.
Go out fishing, fishing boat.
And that got as far as because someone was like, I don't care. And then, like it just never happened. But it was just so much fun. It was like so cheap. And then as we got older, this person would drop off. this person would drop off. And it just became like we couldn't go for a week. So then I think at the last year, it was like a 4-day.
Yeah.
And it was not all of us.
Yeah, we had like the same, like, it was always you and I, Joe, and JJ. Yeah, we were like the 4 staples.
And Schaefer was there every year. I think Josh was for most of them.
The one thing, our audience probably doesn't know Schaefer, but...
Oh, God, if we could get him on.
I would love to have him on this podcast because he is probably one of the funniest human beings I've ever met in my life.
Okay.
Indirectly.
Here would be a great way to describe Schaefer. You got to push him a little bit and you get him started up, maybe a couple shots here or there. But when you get that motherfucker started, man, he will just fucking go. And you just sit back and watch.
Yes. And you just sit there and just let him go.
And if anybody has friends like that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you hang out in a group, he might be the one that kind of sits back off to the side.
Yeah, yeah. He would always be the one that, like, on the guys' trip would bring his PlayStation.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and if you didn't say anything, he might just sit inside and play, video games all day,
eating cereal,
right?
All day long. There was when he was sober, he would just eat cereal, and we would make fun of him probably you would wake up, everybody would wake up, he would wake up last. And you would just make fun. As soon as he got up, you just start making fun of him about like eating cereal all day long.
Yeah, I used to live with Schaefer. When I first moved out of my house, I moved in with Schaefer's older brother, Drew. Drew bought the house, and then Schaefer and I rented a room. And he would drive me insane with that cereal thing because he would get up, and then I think we might have talked about it on the podcast, but he would get up, go sit on the couch with the cereal box, and the milk.
Yeah, that would drive me.
And he would just sit there. And Schaefer's the kind of guy he's never in a hurry. Like he just, I'll get to it when I get to it. And if he sat there for 3 hours, well, then when he gets up, then he'll put the milk back. Yeah. But when I come out, I want milk. It's fucking warm because it's been sitting on the floor. And I'm like, dude, it's fuck. He's like, hey, here's the milk. It's like, I know there's the milk. I want fucking milk cold for my cereal, And the other thing would drive me, his room was right below mine. He would wake up, like if he had to go to work at 1, like he would wake up at like 12:15. But his alarm would start going off at 9. Every day. That was his thing. It would go, and he would just hit snooze for 5 minutes. 20 fucking times an hour. And would just go boom, boom. And it would drive me insane because every 5 minutes, and he would just go, and I'm like, why don't you just set it for like fucking 11:30? Like, he's like, I don't know, I just kind of like it.
You're not going to get up that early.
There was no plans to get up. He never planned to get up. That was the thing. It wasn't like he was just sleeping off like, oh, give me 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
No, he got out of bed at 12.
Yeah.
But like for 3 hours, he would just reach over and go, turn it off. And it would just reset for 5 minutes. It would drive me insane because it was daily.
Oh,
anyway.
That's fucking...
So we're going to resurrect this guy's trip finally after it's been 12 years. 7 of us used to share a 1 condo, 3-bedroom condo.
Yeah.
And this time we were all debating to get a big Airbnb or, how do we divvy up the rooms, whatever. And then I think Joe sent this hotel, and I forget what it's called now, but it's kind of right in the middle where we were going to stay. The rooms were kind of so cheap that we were all like, well, Joe snores. I don't want to be in Joe's room. JJ snores. I don't want to be... Why don't we all just get our own rooms?
That is the difference from going on a trip with your boys from your 20s to your 40s. You're the late 30s to 40s.
And we were like, yeah.
The weirdest fucking thing that we all have our own rooms.
Although I do like sharing a room.
I do like when you wake up and you walk out and it's just like go time right away.
Right, and there's somebody there hanging out. And this, I feel like we're going to have to try harder to make things happen.
We have activities planned.
But like when, you wake up, somebody's sitting on the couch and you kind of bullshit and then somebody else trickles in and then somebody else trickles in and then we don't have that.
Maybe we can all request adjacent rooms and you know how they have that door that opens up in between them? Like we just open it all the way up.
That would be cool.
I think it's 8 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we just all open up the door and just have like one room.
That would be cool. This hotel, I wish I had the name of it, and I don't feel like looking it up. But
Ponce de Leon.
Joe was like, well, 2 of us can go to a room, and I pulled up the rooms, and the bathtub is in the middle of the room.
Oh,
it's
it
like,
is?
It's like
I didn't look at that.
it's not separate.
Oh, it's not?
And that's why I sent back, like, you better love your roommate. Because it's just, the bathtub is just against the wall. Like
That's
the shower,
fucking really
the shower
weird.
is like 8 feet from the one bed. And that's not part of the bathroom. The bathroom, the toilet, and the sink are in a room.
Usually it's, well, no, I guess it's not.
It's just so weird that you could be sitting there looking over and like there's nothing separating you from somebody taking a shower. It's just right there.
You'd have to go to somebody else's room while you're taking a shower.
So that was kind of the deciding factor of why.
I'm interested to see how that's going to work. Like everybody having their own room, because we have Schaefer with us and he may sleep the whole time.
And it does make it easier because Joe typically taps out it randomly early.
Yeah.
You know, and it's going to make it his sneak away, get into his room, and nobody can get to him because it's not like we can just open the door and be like, motherfucker, get up.
Maybe everybody, you have to give, maybe this is a rule we make, because they give you 2 room keys, you give your room key to someone else. Or you give your room key to somebody else so that at any time somebody can go and get you if they need to take a shower. You'd have to put that little latch thing, so when it opens up, you're like.
So that's we have that to look forward to in about 3 weeks.
Yeah,
that should be fun. That should be fun. I am looking forward to it.
I know. Part of me wants to record when we're there, but lugging this shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that it's that much, but yeah, it is enough that I wouldn't want to.
We'd have to go back to the handheld mic.
Yeah.
If we did do it, but I don't know, because we could finally have our drunk episode.
That could be fun. Well, it'd be fun for us. I don't know if it would actually. It'd be like Wu-Tang on stage.
Yeah, we could only probably do one because then it's an hour, and then it probably would be like Wu-Tang.
Everybody's just talking.
It took me a second to get that. But since we are talking about vacations and trips, I kind of got a dilemma.
I've been waiting for this. I want to hear what this is.
So this dilemma just kind of came about over the last couple days. I have to go to Singapore for a week. All right, for work.
Nice.
So
that's a interesting place.
Yes, because the parent company for my job is in Singapore, so I have to go there for a week. It kind of sucks because it's gonna be work, like, for the majority of the day. Guess how long the flight is?
I think that might be the longest flight that you can take. I'm gonna say actual flight time 20 hours.
22 hours.
Oh,
it's a 22
in the
hour,
air. In the air.
It's a 22-hour flight to get to Singapore.
I've never been on one of those international planes where you have all that, every seat is, you're not sitting on like Southwest.
Yeah.
It's like you have your own spot.
Yeah. Well, the one good saving grace to it, one of our listeners, Han, he's
what's up, Han?
He is going to he's going to be there. So he has to go because we have meetings and things like that. And
he's from Singapore.
Yes, he's from Singapore.
Right.
My ranking in the company only gets me economy seats.
Oh.
Yeah. So
nobody can pull any strings?
I don't know. I'm praying something can.
And what's the difference between economy and the seat
next
that you want?
The next step up is just economy premium or whatever.
And what's the top dog?
First class.
Okay. So it's first class.
First class is probably like a fucking bed and stuff like that. So
right. I don't know how many levels there are.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, if there's only 3 and you can get the middle.
Yeah, like I figure my seat is like Leonardo DiCaprio seat in the Titanic. Like, it's in the basement.
I would almost foot the bill, depending on how much the difference is, because, man, if you're in like economy and that seat only goes back like, 3/4.
Yeah, I will say probably international flights are probably a little bit better.
Oh, they got to be.
Yeah,
they got to be at least a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous about, Singapore rules.
They throw you in jail quick, baby.
Detain you.
You get off the plane and they just give you one little light whack. There's more. There's more of this where it came from.
Because like chewing gum is outlawed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can't chew gum. You can't. It's just like weird.
Yeah, you better brush up on your custom. At least you have Han. Han will give. He's not going to steer you wrong.
Yeah, he's not going to steer me wrong. And the big dilemma about this trip is my passport's expired.
You can express those.
Yes. So I saw that I can express it and get it within 2 to 3 weeks.
You can even do it faster than that.
Really?
You can get it in hours.
Really?
Like at the airport, there is things that you can do. I mean, obviously I wouldn't wait, but an emergency situation, I think there is an opportunity, maybe not guaranteed, but that it can be resolved in a matter of hours.
So luckily your passport is good for, it's 10 years. And then you have another 5 years to renew it.
Yes.
So I'm at 15 years, 7 months. And I should have renewed it before, but it's just like one of those things that
you don't think about it.
I don't think about it until it's too late. So now I don't have to, because I was like, I don't know where my birth certificate is. I don't need, but you don't need that as long as you have your old passport.
Right.
So and I do have that, but like I'm cutting it close.
I had something similar to that because we were supposed to go up to Canada. I was going to tag along to my wife's had a work thing. And I wasn't under a rush, but I filled out all the paperwork. And it's like these, you fill out all the paperwork, you go to the post office if that's where you're going to go, you get your picture taken, you pay, and then, they send it off. And then my wife did hers like 3 weeks after me. And then she got the notification that it's, because you can check it online with the status. Yeah. That hers is done. Like she's getting it back. And mine still says like not received, not received, not received. So like we still had a couple months. So I was like, well, maybe, it's just late, whatever. And like after a couple more weeks, I'm like, okay, something's wrong.
Yeah.
So I called the passport there's a number you can call.
Yeah.
I had my headset on and I'm just going about my day. 4 hours on hold. No answer. No one ever answered.
No one ever answered?
No one ever answered.
You waited 4 hours?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I'm just doing shit around the house.
Yeah.
And it's just going, you know what I mean? I'm like, and it just...
Does it play music?
Yeah. It just never clicked over. So I send an email, nothing. It goes to a black hole of nowhere. So then I'm like, okay, I got to go back to the last person I spoke to. I contacted the post office. And they're like, no, we sent it off. I'm like, well, who the hell do I contact? Because no one at this place.
Why is it so hard?
I don't know. Like nobody's answering me. And you're just saying that. And she was right in saying that they did their job. Like they don't have anything to do with passport other than they put it in a package and then they sent it out and they had proof that it was sent out. So now it's somewhere.
Yeah.
Do you know what I had to do?
No.
They said, call your county councilman. That's what they said.
No fucking way.
Yeah. So I fucking called my county councilman.
Is that phone number easy to
get? Yeah. Okay. I mean, he didn't pick up.
Yeah,
but his reception, whoever answers that number. And I'm like, here's the deal. Like, I feel embarrassed that I'm calling you about my passport. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. This is what we're paid to do. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And they're like, well, when you fly in, they take that information. And they're like, yeah, we'll be in touch. And I was like, okay, well, about how long? Well, before you fly, we'll have it to you. I was like, okay, can I get it before that?
Because you don't want to be stressing it.
And then like a week went by, and then they just sent me an email, like a follow-up email, like, hey, we got your email. And so I had a person contact, I forget the guy's name. So I just followed up with him like another week, like, hey, I don't want to be a dick or anything, but like, is this progressing forward? Like, what's going on? He's like, hey, don't worry about it. I got it. I'm going to handle it for you. And sure enough, about 2 weeks later, he's sent me an email. So, because they had cashed my check.
Yeah.
So I know that it was received, right? But then like somebody just took my check out and just threw the other shit in the bin. So at least I had the check was cashed. Like you guys got it. So I don't know what he did or where he goes or whatever, but somebody from the county councilman's office took care of it. And
if you gave me a million guesses, I would have never
once, never once
contact your county council.
Yeah, I thought like, what if like I feel like an asshole, you know, like the county councilman.
That's what they do. Yeah. That's what they get paid to do. I guess.
And that's, I mean, it wasn't like the first time someone has ever asked, you know, and then they had a guy, they had their passport guy. Like, I don't know if that's all he does, but like, yeah, homeboy did it and he got it back.
That's what their job is, to fucking talk to people on TV and then get your passport.
Yeah. Before you go, let's get Han on, because there is a lot of stuff that I have learned that Singapore is in another world from us with how they operate. Yeah. And there are some distinct differences it's very interesting and unique to Singapore. So maybe we could set up Han to come up very, very soon. Yeah. Han, I know you're listening.
Yeah, you listen every week, so I know.
Get with Steve and get your ass up here.
Yeah.
So let's do this. We're going to have an all Singapore all the time episode. All right. Han, you're invited. Get up here. All right. Well, that was our little vacation episode, little wrap up with the our guys' trip and Steve's trip to Singapore. Hey, thanks a lot, guys, for hanging out with us for another week. We appreciate it. I'm Jim.
I'm Steve.
See you next time.
See ya. All right. Lay it on me.
I will lay it on you. This dick. You want this dick?
That's one of the funniest things.
That is one of the most awkward scenes.
You want this dick?
You want this dick? You want this dick? You want this dick? Because he doesn't stop, and it gets weird.
And you know, he probably did it for like fucking 15 minutes.
More than probably like a half hour of just like, give me more dick. You want this dick?
Say it angry. You want this dick?
I'm gonna lay it on you, this dick.